Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 News at 5:30.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Mazer. Now, we begin our 5:30 newscast tonight focusing on record coronavirus cases here in Oregon. OHA reports 437 new confirmed and presumptive cases. Our Lauren Negretti joins us live in the studio tonight to break down numbers across the state and the nation. Lauren.
That's right, Jacqueline. Today marks the highest number of cases in Oregon since OHA reported its first presumptive case back in February. Oregon jumps to more than 13,500 cases. 2 more deaths were reported, raising the state total to 249. Take a look at this bar graph. It shows the number of cases so far this week. Numbers range from the 200s to 400s. OHA says the rise in cases is linked to the spread of COVID-19 from social gatherings and sporadic spread. OHA says worksite outbreaks and long-term care facility outbreaks also are contributing to cases to the daily count. Multnomah County reported the most cases with 108, followed by Washington, Marion, Umatilla, Clackamas, and Deschutes counties. 343 out of 437 cases reported today were in these counties. Multnomah stands with the highest cases with nearly 3,200. Lane County has a total of 336 cases. Lane County's public health reported 12 new cases today. 49 patients are infected and 4 people are hospitalized. There have been 3 deaths so far. Over the past month, coronavirus cases in Lane County are doubling weekly. That's according to Lane County Public Health's weekly surveillance summary. The county says it managed to keep the curve reasonably flat from the beginning, but recent trends are concerning.
We're able to connect our cases. However, the sheer increase has been troubling and something that we've been working hard on mitigating, and it does appear as though that is starting to level off. Roughly 73% of our cases are connected to either work, a household member, or a social circle.
Most cases are in the Eugene-Springfield area. There are 5 clusters of cases in young adults. 40% of the county cases are in persons 30 years old or younger. That's higher than the state level. Latinx cases make up a quarter of hospitalizations. A majority of symptoms in Lane County include a cough, headache, muscle aches, fever, and shortness of breath. Meanwhile, the United States is looking at 3.5 million cases, over 138,000 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University. Almost 40 states are seeing an increase in COVID cases and have rolled back some restrictions. California, Florida, Arizona, and Texas are seeing the largest spike in cases. We will continue to follow these numbers. For the latest coronavirus information happening locally and nationwide, make sure to visit NBC.com. For now, back to you, Jacqueline.
All right, Lauren, thanks for that report tonight. Well, once again, offensive graffiti was displayed in a neighborhood in the Empire District of Coos Bay, and now there's a reward being offered for helping find the suspect. Written on the fence next to the last 2 taggings, police say offensive language toward an individual and an offensive symbol was written. Property owners, neighbors, and others reported it to police around yesterday morning. When police arrived, the property owner was gathering material to remove it. Coos Bay police say it was removed about 2 hours after the first report. The city emailed a statement saying they will not tolerate racism. Now, the city is offering a $5,000 reward to anyone reporting information that leads to the identification, arrest, and conviction of those responsible. Well, a number of bills passed recently covered police reform during the Oregon Legislative Special Session last month. A total of 6 bills were passed on the final days of the special session. U.S. Senator Ron Wyden says there's an area where mental health needs to be covered as well. He says he believes cahoots, working more closely with police, can help. He's also pressing for reform once the Senate returns.
I think as to the big bill, I just hope when we get back we can get an agreement that changes like ensuring that there are no more of these chokeholds. I just hope that that can be bipartisan and we can get it passed.
The bill's passage follows weeks of demands from protesters for police accountability. Well, this month is National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, and a Eugene organization is making a new push to help those in our community. They're called Strong Integrated Behavioral Health, and they say the service is in higher demand after months of national unrest. Our Cassandra Gutierrez is live in the studio tonight. Now, Cassandra, tell us more about this new push.
Well, Jacqueline, amid a pandemic and protests to push for social justice reform, the behavioral health organization felt compelled to help because they have seen an increase in stresses among their support groups. They also mentioned that BIPOC community members are far less likely to seek professional help when things get tough.
Generally, African Americans and Hispanic Americans seek mental health services at half the rate of their white counterparts, and Asian Americans at a third the rate of their white peers.
That is why Strong Behavioral Health decided they would do something to help the BIPOC community, especially in this time of crisis.
I think being a minority, just by definition of the word, is difficult enough as it is, and then when you're moving about in the town without seeing other people who look like you or noticing other faces who aren't white, it can just feel really isolating. And isolation is a really big component of depression and a lot of mood concerns.
Miller advises it is best to handle the small situations as they come.
And then also just building those resiliency skills, because stressful situations are going to come up regardless of what's going on in the world. So how do we build those tools in your toolkit so that when things do come up that are problematic, you can just reach into that toolkit and pull out an effective coping strategy.
The program is free for anyone who identifies as BIPOC and is set to begin in August.
So I'm really grateful that our organization really is prioritizing that and getting the word out there and getting people connected to support regardless of their ability to pay.
Helping our community stay strong in a time of crisis.
Sign up is not full yet. They say they still have plenty of room for more virtual guests. They can also work with individuals who want one-on-one support. To sign up, you can check out their webpage, that is strongibh.com, or give their Eugene location a call.
All right, thanks, Cassandra. Well, continuing coverage tonight on the Coos County 911 radio system, site visits to plan the best coverage started this week. NBC 16's Amanda Sleep reports.
One by one, sites like Coquille Hill are being assessed by a radio communication company and a microwave company. They're determining the condition of 17 radio tower sites in Coos County. They're looking for things like available space, power efficiency, and what can be reused.
There's several sites that we may have to replace a building or something like that, but yeah, in most cases we're going to leverage and save a lot of money by the sites that we're going and visiting, and it looks promising.
He says the sites are looking good and the process is coming along, but slowly because they want to avoid oversights.
To make sure and be methodical, to make sure we explore all options to have the best system possible when we're done. We don't want to put out a bunch of money and have a system that's inadequate when we're finished with it.
The 6 communication sites now in use are about 20 years old. The company that will build the new equipment says they'll need more than the current locations.
Coos County is very challenging with the terrain as far as radio frequencies, like line of sight. And there's a lot of hills and trees in the way that block that line of sight.
To get around that, they plan to have 11 to 13 sites.
By adding more sites, we're going to get coverage into areas that don't have current coverage.
At the end of the week, officials will discuss what they found and make a plan for each location. From there, the building begins. Reporting in Coos County, I'm Amanda Slee.
All right, thanks, Amanda. Well, coming up on your only local news at 5:30, cold cases in Lane County have remained unsolved for years. Now investigators are asking for any leads.
This